Okay, so you just want me to shoot on how I started football?
Sure, Zach, go ahead. How did you get into football?
All right.
What's that story like?
All right, cool. So the first year I played football was my third grade year in Independence, Kansas. Wasn't really much into football through youth, and then when I moved to Webb City, they kind of had already a culture present, and you could definitely tell just going to school as a kid. So it definitely made me want to be a part of it. So starting fourth grade, when I moved to Webb City, I was able to join into a family. Honestly, whether you're in fourth grade or the high school team or a past player, Webb City's tradition really brought me into the sport, I would say. Uh, and then going through high school, I never was like an outstanding athlete. I was kind of always the tall kid, unathletic. I mean, I could run, but just uncoordinated almost. Just body grew too fast. And then getting into high school, actually, I played tight end my freshman year, but like I said, I wasn't fully invested in the sport yet. I knew I liked being around the guys. I liked being a part of everything. Um, Always chasing that touchdown. Like first touchdown was always huge. So my sophomore year came around and I started playing JV and I played a lot of tight end and started scoring some plays. I actually scored like a 71-yard touchdown, breaking 2 tackles that year. So it kind of opened my eyes in that sense. But going into my junior year, I don't know what it was. I thought I was a receiver. I thought I had another 2 3 inch growth spurt. And I tried receiver out. Wasn't really working in our scheme. We were a split back veer team, so we didn't really pass the ball that much. So really couldn't find my niche yet. Tight end, I wasn't a physical player. I really haven't been an aggressive person all my life. So I kind of fell back in the aspect of blocking early. Didn't really attack it in the same mindset that I am now. But my junior year, I ended up becoming a punter only for the varsity team. And I only punted. I didn't practice tight end. I didn't practice receiver. I went down to a separate field. I punted the whole day at practice, came up for special teams, and that was it. And then my junior year, I had a standout year in basketball. Was an honorable mention all conference guy, and then coach really sat me down. And I was really thinking about focusing only on basketball at the time. And coach talked me into coming back my senior year. Started playing tight end a little bit. He saw my athleticism and really wanted to try and implement into the game. But I still just punted. Punting came to me early, like I said, sophomore year JV. We had a kid get kicked off, suspended from the team, and he was our punter. So we came into the game with no punter. And during warm-ups, coach asked me to punt, and I was like, yeah, I punted in youth football, so I might as well try. And within the first 3 kicks, I had a 50-yarder, 55-yarder, and it was up from there for punting. Going into my sophomore year, I played a little bit of varsity punter, just here and there because our guy was injured a little bit. And really, my junior year, I was a standout punter, I would say. I was an all-state guy. I averaged close to over 40 yards. I'd have to go back and look. But then my senior year came around. I was really kicking the ball my senior year. And then they threw me in at tight end. Funny thing is, I didn't catch a pass all of regular season. I didn't play very much during regular season. But as soon as districts came around, we faced Harrisonville, and he threw me in the scheme there, running some backside posts, a corner, and really took off. I had 3 catches that game, 2 for a touchdown. No, 2 catches that game, 1 for a touchdown, 1 for 70-some yards. And then the game after that, I had a touchdown. And then I believe that was it for me in high school for tight end. We made a state run, didn't really get used down the road in playoffs, except on fourth down for real. And then college came around, started getting scouted for punting. I actually was only really scouted for punter. Or recruited for punter out of high school. Didn't have very many big colleges. I only had really out of MIAA, I had Missouri Southern. Pitt State talked to me a little bit. They didn't even end up giving me an official visit. And then Central Missouri. and then a bunch of other JUCOs, NAIA schools that would hit me up, like, come play punter. We could also use as an athlete. By this time, I'd earned first team all conference, basketball, first team all conference, punter, and then all district tight end for the couple games that I played. But no, I found myself focusing on Central Missouri in the recruiting process because for me, punting is what got me to stick around the sport. And then coach had mentioned letting me try out tight end and see just where it went. And really, my freshman year, I came in, got in the weights program, added 25 pounds, got a little bit quicker, more coordinated with my body throughout the years, not really developing into it until my junior season, as it shows on the stat sheet. But just having the opportunity to play the sport where you love, but also have somebody who trusts that you can be an athlete in a different position and really help out the team and make an impact. It put me in a good headspace, I'd say, when I got to college, just because I knew I was wanted. I knew somebody saw potential in me, and it just allowed me to work my hardest every day. And then really, we're here now. I mean, coming out of my junior year, have one more season left if I wanted to come back, and really deciding to focus on myself because I've came a long way, I would say, from a kid that wanted to drop out of high school football to go play basketball and only punted my junior year and then only got a little bit of reps at tight end to becoming a first-team All-American tight end my junior year of college. If I was to write a book, I would have not have told you this when I was younger. I mean, it's been a dream, I would say, come true, just finding something that I love so much. And what's crazy is having the success I've had with such little preparation to play the position at the level I play it, and just being able to stand out and use my God-given abilities to perform in a sport that's loved by millions of people around the world. So just been blessed, man, for real.
So here's a question. If you were recruited as a punter and you went to, Central Missouri, was there, I see that you're a sports management major. You weren't really thinking about taking this profession. You really didn't think you had a chance, did you?
Coming out of high school, I had a couple guys mention punting professionally because I've naturally had a really powerful leg. Hasn't always been the most consistent, hasn't always been the prettiest kicks, but I've always been able to kick the ball really hard. So I actually had a guy by the name Sam Adams. He really helped me out my junior. He helped coach Brian Mormon and when he played at Pitt State and went on to play for the Bills and was an all-pro punter. And he had several guys that were all-pro punters. But at the time he got to me, going into my senior year, he was 71. He had lost 95% of his vision. He's literally coaching me from the sound of the ball, which was it's crazy to say. That's how he described it to me. He could see my motion, and that's about it. He said he could tell everything he needed to know by just the sound of the ball. And from there on, I started becoming a lot more consistent punter out the gate. And that Sam Adams, I'd have to give it to him for just taking me to that next level that I just need, that little boost I needed to get to the next level. And then all props to everybody at Central Missouri that's gave me the right support system along with giving me every opportunity I could ask for. But yeah, I wouldn't have told you I was going to have this opportunity that I have in front of me right now.
Coached at punting by a blind man. That's an interesting thing to put on the resume.
I mean, I don't think many people can say it, but for being such a critiqued art, I would say punting. Yeah, he made a huge difference. Let the dogs get done barking, but he made a huge difference in me as a punter, I would say. But.
So pretty much every time you took the field at Central Missouri, you were the best athlete on the field.
Oof, that's pushing it. I played with some dogs now. I was watching Zach.
pretty much you were the best athlete out there. That's kind of why you're here right now. You know,
Yeah.
that's why you got the Gridiron Showcase invite and all that stuff, is because, you know, that was the thing. And I'm not saying I'm one of these people. I like to be honest, and I like sometimes bluntly so. Sometimes I come across the wrong way, so I apologize if I offend you.
You're not offending me, man. I appreciate it. I'm just giving the guys credit.
I don't think that your speed is particularly NFL level per se, but you have this field vision about you, and almost like you have eyes in the back of your head. And I'm watching you on these 70-yard, touchdowns where you're weaseling your way through to the only place that you could possibly go. And I'm like, he can see that. That's amazing. Yeah. So because of the level that you played at, and the fact that most of the time you were on the field, you were the best athlete, and it's a different level. What would be your response to an NFL team, to someone potentially doubting, saying, well, do you really have what it takes to be in the NFL?
If a scout, GM, coach was to walk up to me right now, the first thing I tell them is I'm raw. I'm a raw athlete. I played tight end seriously for 2 years. I've got 1 season under my belt as a starter, so 90% of the reps going to me. I'm learning more and more each time I sit down in the meeting room with coach. I would say my ceiling is higher than ever, and that's just me believing in myself and knowing how much opportunity that's still out there given my position. I mean, D2 level, yeah, it sets me back, but I see it as if I was to go to a D1 program, get the same coaching, get the same meal, nutrition, recovery time, I would be right there with the Kyle Pitts, the Pat Freiermuth, my bad, Pat. But I would say that would be the only area I fall behind. I think my mentality's there. My want to grow is there. I know I'm nowhere near my cap talent, nowhere near where I can be impact on the team, whether it's throughout the drive or on fourth down. I'm just confident that I've got so much more learning to do. Honestly, I'm excited for the opportunities that I've been presented, just because I know I'm gonna get step by step better each day, and just on each given opportunity that I'm presented, whether it's meeting a new coach, just being able to just obtain whatever knowledge in these upcoming months that I can, going through combine prep, all-star game prep, all showcase, everything, man. I'm getting shaky voice right now because I'm so pumped up. I'm really just, I know what I've got, and I'm just waiting for people to realize it. I'm an unwritten book, I would say. There's been little influence and little coaching onto what I've already done, but there's been a whole lot of hard work, and I'm ready to continue it, and with a lot of coaching and people that do this every day professionally, and I'm just ready to learn from some of the smartest people in the game, and ready to just grow. I think that's where I'm at.
You're a record setter at Central Missouri as a punter. As a tight end, you've got, distance records, you've got average records, you've got 15 touchdowns last year, which is the most ever by a tight end, second most in program history ever in a single year. You've already attributed Sam Adams to like the punting success. What else is kind of like the reason for your success behind that? Do you have some sort of a motivation that kind of gets you?
I would say I've never liked being the small guy in the room. I know my physical presence is there, but I want my cognitive presence to be there more. I'm not a guy that likes to lose. I'm not a guy that's going to quit out half rep. I actually get pissed when I can't complete a rep or I physically give up because I can't go any further. I would attribute that all to just, I had not as hard as some people growing up, but emotionally difficult childhood that's just driven me to be the best I can be every day. Not coming from a strong family who loves each other. That's about it. Just wanting to be the best person I can be each day, and be as much as a role model to the people around me and as the people I've looked up to. I would attribute a lot of my tight end success to my teammates. I've had an All-American tight end teammate, Seth Aber, who was like a big brother to me, honestly. Just being able to grow behind him the 2 years I played behind him and see what aggression it takes and what finesse it takes to play the game and be successful in our position, along with playing with our quarterback, Kyle Bradley, who's helped me out a lot. Logan Tweehouse. I mean, just guys on the team we've all wanted to just be the best for each other. And just having that support system right there, having guys that will go to the line for you in the weight room, in the classroom, life, football. It's really, I'd say it's been seamless, to give all the credit to that. My family. I'm just a guy that likes to be great, honestly. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability, and that's the way I've approached it from my freshman year of high school. I think that's when it clicked for me. I played freshman basketball. I'm getting choky talking about it, but I played freshman basketball, and what really took me is I sat out a game. I didn't get put in a game twice in a row, so the coach didn't play me. I kept my warm up the whole game, and I cried to my dad 2-3 nights, and he told me, he sat me down, and he's like, if you really want to play, you're gonna have to invest in yourself and take the time and really perfect your craft every day that you can. And from that season on, that off season, he got me into a basketball trainer, a guy who played overseas. He's Sutton in Springfield, and he showed me what it takes to develop. So it went from shooting shots over and over again just to protect my shooting form, and then it took drills to just, if I messed up, he would show me, you got to keep yourself to a certain standard when you're training, because that's where you're going to grow the most. So hold yourself to that all-star standard when you're training, so that way when it comes to game day, it's just natural. And just envisioning greatness, like before you go to bed before a game, envision that you're going to dream, you're making that big play, you're catching that 70-yard bomb, and I would be able to say I did that before every game. Looking through our install, seeing plays that are tagged to me, that are focused on me, and just envisioning me making the big play, or envisioning what I'm going to see from the defense, or how I'm going to attack a certain block, depending on the defensive front. I mean, just learning that from him, Sam Adams, it's a lot, man. I could talk about this all day. I'm a passionate man. So, I would just say support system and really just being able to be headstrong through it all and focus on the bigger goal, which didn't really become the NFL until my sophomore year of college, I would say, for real. But yeah, that I would have to give it that.
Zach, thank you for taking the time. I really am hoping for the best for you, man. It was fun. It was really interesting when I put on the tape and just looking at just the way that you popped, right? Like the highlight reel with Draft Diamonds does. So I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
And then getting into some of the deeper stuff and looking deeper and kind of seeing what all was to your game. The big play potential's there. You're fun to watch. And I really do hope the best for you. I really think that the Fort Worth is going to be great for you at the College Gridiron Showcase, and I'm looking forward to seeing you down there, dude.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking time, man. It means a lot to me. I mean, I understand we got a lot of big things coming, so I'm looking forward to meeting you down there, and I'll see you then, man.
Sounds great, Zach. You take it easy, okay?
You too. I'll catch you later.